Stay safe and shop online on takealot.com. Find us on your phone, desktop or
was a kitchen man 90 degrees, jumbo, shada, pesu, 90 degrees, jumbo, shada, 90 degrees, jumbo, shada, Nyamazan, away Nyamazan, away Nyamazan, away Nyamazan, it's a little ten. It's a ten, it's a little ten. It's a little ten. It's a ten, it's a little ten. Oh my man, I was there. Oh my
Morning leadership. Morning leadership. Can you just check? We need to start. We said we should start 9 o'clock, and on the rules that we have adopted, we said 8:45. Everybody must be inside the arena. But it seems as if it's a challenge. Much having is a delegation full. Metima Ole. Metima Olo, your delegation. Declaring. Maluti, Setoto, Kopano, Pumelela, You feel the bottle that you use the boards. Thank you, Pumelela. Mangau. Okay. Can we start with day 2? Just to recap on what transpired yesterday, we have dealt with registrations and apologies, and also we have dealt with issue of the previous Congress minutes, which were adopted, and matters arising were referred to the commissions, and we have dealt with the Congress rules. However, there is only one omission from our side that we realized after we have decided to call it a day. We never engage on the issue of the agenda and the program for the Congress. So our request is that I'm going to allow the Provincial Secretary to present the proposed agenda for the Congress together with the program that will take us to the duration of the Congress. While the Secretary is busy ascending to the podium, can we just get a revolutionary song? Amanda, sorry for the disturbance, leadership. It was unplanned. There is one request. Could all delegation give the keys of the rooms to the office manager, because they are needed for housekeeping, please. If we have the key, please hand over to the provincial manager so that the housekeeping can do their job. You can continue with the singing. Sorry for that.
Isandla Ole Batambo Oli Batambo Isandla Ole Batambo Oli Batambo Oli Batambo Ungasiyekele Oli Batambo Oli Batambo Oli Batambo Usiba beungasiyekele Oli Batambo Oli Batambo Ole Batambo Mambisa Bisanda sa Ole Batambo Oli Batambo Bisanga sa Tambuba, usibambe ungasiyekele. Oliver Tambo, Oliver Tambo,
Oliver Tambo, usibambe ungasiyekele. Bambe sandaza, Oliver Tambo, bambe sandaza, Oliver Tambo, Oliver
Tambo,
mchini wazilangele, bambe sandaza, Oliver Tambo, Bizanaza, Oliver Tambo, Bizanaza, Oliver Tambo,
usibambe ungasiyekele.
Oliver Tambo, Bizanaza, Oliver Tambo, Bizanaza, Oliver. Oya siwelele masewuzokale bazuga zi autambo yawo siwelele masewuzokale bazuga ziwe sibigile tena babana bemko uzokale basuga ziwe sibigile tena babana bemko uzokale basuga autambo yaho ziwelele uzokale basuga autambo yaho ziwelele uzokale basuga sibigile tena babana bemkole uzokale basuga ziwelele sifikile thina bafana bemko uzokale basuka utambo yaho ziwelele maze uzokale basuka ziwe utambo yaho ziwelele maze uzokale basuka sifikile thina bafana bemkole uzokale basuka sifikile thina bafana bemkole uzokale basuka autambo yaho siwelele maze uzokale basuka autambo yaho siwelele maze uzokale basuka sifikile thina bafana bemkole uzokale basuka sifikile thina bafana baphuphe uzokale
Amandla. Viva Free State, viva. Viva Popcru, viva.
Viva.
Qina msebenzi, qina.
Qina.
Hayititiane Popcru, hayititiane.
Hayititiane.
No, thank you, comrades. Let me allow the provincial secretary to gravitate to the podium to render the item, the proposed agenda and the program for this entire Congress. PS.
Popcru etibile matata. Karibu etibile matata. Karibu etibile. Etibile.
Popcru etibile matata.
Etibile.
Popcru etibile matata.
Ailwana ntwa.
Karibun
Etibile matata. Ailwana ntwa.
Karibun Amandla. Amandla.
Wethu.
Alala Popcru alala. Alala Free State alala. Thank you very much, Chairperson. Comrade, we trust that you managed to go through the program from the yesterday until the one of today and the last day. But we just want to make a special request to say the Congress must allow the leadership to have a very flexible program, because for example, we are expecting the president of the organization to be here. He might arrive later, so that at least when he arrives, we are able to attend to that particular matter. Other thing, comrades, we must be ready to work until late, because tomorrow is the last day of the Congress, and this particular Congress needs to come up with the program that will take this particular province to the next Congress. I'm not going to go point by point on the program, comrades. Chair, I think the comrades are familiar with that. This was the only special request that we want to do. Comrades, in terms of because we are afraid of time, we are also requesting that in terms of the report, we are just going to outline what are the expectation together with the issue of the commissions, without necessarily going deep to those particular reports, because the commission will be able to deal with the report. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Ya ke di veteran. How se veteran now no itse ba yo. Kopano. I know always when you sing the controversial songs that the veterans. But anyway, can we have another revolutionary song?
Kubi oh, siaya, siaya. Kubi oh, siaya, siaya. No mabesi tubula, mabesi shaya. Emesi bo pasaya, noma besitubula ebesishaya ebesibopha saya kubi 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 siyaya esiyaya githi kubi 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 siyaya esiyaya saya noma besitubula besishaya ebesibopha saya noma besitubula besishaya ebesibopha amandla
awethu amandla leadership can now the Congress pronounce itself in terms of the agenda and the program so that we can move it and second it. I'll start noting hands. Metsima Wolo, Letsime, Setoto and Machaving Pumelela in that sequence.
The presentation by Provincial Secretary. We also want to move for the adoption of the program as well as the request of, in terms of flexibility, as presented by the Provincial Secretary. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Maole. Ms. Maole. Setoto, you must follow the sequence.
Thank you, Chairperson. Setoto would like to second Ms. Maole. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Setoto. Let me get indication from Mangaung. You are covered, Machavin, sorry. You are covered. Pumelela.
Align ourselves with the latter speakers. However, Chair, we are faced with one difficulty here, Chair, that we have a program. We have a program that has to drive the agenda, but we don't find agenda, Chair. So can we be guided as to what is it that this particular program is going to drive? Because one's understanding is that this program should drive our agenda. Maybe if we can be guided to the relevant book that talks to the agenda, because one that we have in front of us, we struggled to find any agenda on the books.
Okay. No, thanks, Pumelela. Pumelela, I think yesterday when I recapped this morning, I said we have made an omission that before we could even deal with the other issues of the credentials and the other part that we have dealt upon, they form part of the agenda. So that is the rectification that we humbly put when we opened day 2 of the Congress. And also in terms of the publication, the publishers, they could not publish the agenda on the books itself. So that is the other omission that was made on part of the publishers when the books were taken for publication. However, that the standard agenda items that are normally proceed in the congresses, it's opening and welcome, credentials, the issue of the previous minutes, and the program itself, because in terms of the programs, we know in the Congress, we don't specifically say will be the item that we are going to deal with it. But in terms of the program, the agenda is interlinked with the program. Hence, our plea that we have made this morning when we requested that was an omission from our side. Okay, Pumele.
Chair, much as I want to buy into the plea in which you have just presented, but I would like to request, Chair, as a matter of convenience, can't the Secretariat at least draft an agenda and present that particular agenda to the Congress so that we can be able to understand the agenda and adopt the agenda as it is presented? Because I'm afraid that if we are to adopt agenda from a point of imaginary or assumption, we might find ourselves omitting some serious issues. So this is my humble plea. I'm proposing to the Congress that can't we have that standard as an operational standard for this particular process?
Okay, Pumele, let me just give the DGS.
No, thanks, Skya. Amanda! Comrades, I think the agenda has been moved and seconded. I get it. You've got your books, and in this book, I think it's book 3, you've got your program. This is the program that is going to drive this Congress until tomorrow. And it's exactly what the Congress has just adopted. So this is the program that is going to guide Pumele. So we are pleading with you, the comrade of what? Pumele, that we've got this. So to go back and start to draft some, because it's clear, it says this is what is going to happen in the first day. And we have started yesterday again with the first part. So what the chair was doing, your confirmation of agenda was moved to today. But in terms of what should have happened, the agenda was supposed to be confirmed yesterday. So what is happening is just to correct what was supposed to happen yesterday, to say, we were supposed to adopt this thing yesterday, can we adopt it today? So immediately after the credentials, the Congress was supposed to adopt the agenda. So unfortunately, it was moved for today. Then we agreed that can we address that so that when we continue with the program of today, at least we know that this program has been adopted so that everything is recorded. So we cannot say they must go back and draft again the agenda because this program is the same. So it's guiding. I understand you want that normal standard agenda of the PEC that will have it. But I'm saying this is the program that is going to guide the Congress. So we are pleading with you. Can we move on, Comrade Pumele? Since the Congress has moved and seconded.
Pumele, I'm sure you are amenable. Okay, no, thank you. Can we just have a revolutionary song, because I can see now our guests are starting to arrive. The agenda and the program has been moved by Mitsima Holo and seconded by Setsoto.
Tubalam lengideselo, tubalami, tubalami, tubalam lengideselo, tubalami, tubalami, tubalam lengideselo. asoze dililibale itubala lengindezelo asoze dililibale itubala lengindezelo itubala lengindezelo asoze delelebale etubala lengindezelo asoze delelebale etubala lengindezelo
Mangaung, you will get your chance. Like I've said, we wanted to keep time, comrades, and since we have adopted the program, I wanted to follow the program unless we will be diverted by unforeseen circumstances. Let me call upon on stage the Provincial Treasurer just to introduce the guests that are with us in this Congress of Free State. Treasurer.
Amandla. Qina msebenzi qina. Qina msebenzi uzonqoba qina. Amandla. Thank you, DPC. Comrades, we are going to introduce guests as when they come. At the present moment, we have these following guests. We have the Deputy Mayor, Mapaseka Mutibi Nkwane. Can you greet the Congress, Deputy Mayor? Thank you, Mayor. We also have Acting DRC for Free State and Northern Cape, Ndatem Vuisi Nofemela. Comrades, we have guests from our own. We have the former Deputy Secretary of Free State, Comrade Max. We also have a former full-time shop steward, Comrade Lituka. Thank you, comrades.
No, thank you, Treasurer. Without wasting no much of time, while the Deputy Mayor of Mangaung Metro is preparing to ascend to the podium, just to give a words of welcome in the district of Can we allow Mangaung just to give a revolutionary song? Mangaung. Can we get a revolutionary song from Mangaung?
Makomone, c'est makomone, c'est makomone, c'est makomone, c'est. Ahlodithatha amakomonisi, ahlodithatha amakomonisi. Abakanite makomonisi, abakanite makomonisi. Ayo. Makomonisi, 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 makomonisi. Ayo, makomonisi, 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 makomonisi. Makomonisi, makomonisi. I can't need makomonisi. I can't need makomonisi. Oh, ayo. Commonness, 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 commonness. Ayo, ayo. Kiri akodi tata ma commonness, akodi bi mama commonness. Ayo. Akine makanda makomones, akine makanda makomones. Aho.
Amanda. No, thanks, Mangau. Indeed, Lesodi Tatane. Comrades, when I introduced the Deputy Mayor of Metro, Mangau Metro, one of the credentials that one would like to highlight to this Congress is that the Deputy Mayor comes within the ranks of Popcru. She was a former shop steward of Popcru in G4S. So it shows that as Popcru, indeed, we are producing. And we should pride ourselves with that particular contribution in the struggle that as Popcru, we are producing good leaders. As we welcome one of our own, and I would say she's still the veteran in Popcru, although today she's wearing another title of being a Deputy Mayor of Metro Mangaung. Please, let's welcome the Deputy Mayor on stage.
Asoze apela mandla, asoze apela mandla,
asoze apela mandla,
elizwe elamakhosikasi,
asoze
asoze apela mandla,
azuze aphila
ngelilizwe elamakhosikazi asoze aphela amandla
azuze aphila amalizwe elamakhosikazi azuze aphila amandla azuze aphila amalizwe elamakhosikazi azuze aphila amandla azuze aphila
amalungelo wethu amalungelo
amalungelo wethu amalungelo amalungelo wethu amalungelo amalungelo wethu amalungelo amalungelo wethu amalungelo amalungelo wethu amalungelo amalungelo wethu amalungelo amalungelo wethu
amandla long live ANC, long live Popcru, long live Kosatu, long live Malibongwe Kamala Makoskasi wabathinta abafazi basop uzofa wafa straight on within a week. Program Director, thank you. You know, when you sing, that's where you heal your heart, your soul, and this is where I grew up. You will remind me of when I was still a shop steward, when things were difficult and people from foreign countries, they came here and said, we are having a company here in South Africa and we will not allow any union in our space. And we said, you rather pack your things and go. I was one of the people who made sure that we have a Popcru in G4. I thank you for inviting me on your 9th Provincial Congress here at Imvelo. And let me first, before I start, acknowledge the leadership that is sitting here, men and women of this country. Let me also acknowledge all the guests who are here, the delegates from different regions, all protocol observed. Good morning, comrades. Today we mark the historical 9th Popcru Free State Provincial Conference or Congress that is taking place here in Mangaung. Many comrades nowadays forget the importance of holding regular gatherings, especially where it is mandatory in terms of our constitution. In this event, your conference, it is the cornerstone of democracy. And let us remind each other what it entails. The right, bona fide participation, sifted through channels recognized and used over and over again, which delivers what we call delegates, empowered by other members to represent their views because not every member can be in a gathering of this nature. And therefore, democracy and conference intimately produce legitimacy. And with it comes respect for leadership. And when a leadership is elected, it has the moral, political, and authority to direct and determine the direction the union should take, guided by policies and the spirit which prevails at this conference. When the Communist Party of China had their conference in 2022, what a spirit we're in, the whole country was at attention, because during that period, the whole country, the economic sphere, the political sphere, the military sphere, and society in general understood the importance of that conference. That Congress helped China as a country in terms of its direction on the political, economical, and foreign policy tragedy for their next 5 years. The point I am making, comrades, is that you as delegates must see the importance of this Congress and the future impact it has on your members, your society, South Africa, Africa, and world, and how resolutions, our policy direction can impact and be felt beyond your conference of this week. The war between Russia and Ukraine is hundreds and thousands of kilometers away from us, but its impact on livelihood and it is felt on commodities like your petrol, food, basic needs, and it has also an impact on reversing the gains obtained in the new dispensation. And that's why I made reference to a sphere in my speech so that you understand the impact of a conference on a legitimacy, stability of a country, and this start here in a conference of this nature. Our lives, the people of South Africa, depends on your stability and your unity and your discipline as individual members of Popcru, for our stability and order, so to advance the democratic state, which in turn must deliver a better life for all of us. Yes, indeed, this sphere once again comes up because of one component does not play its role in betterment of all. We will pay dearly, and for the future of our children, it is in the best interest that progressive forces of the left, in pursuit of equality and dealing with the triple challenges of unemployment, poverty, and creation of a better life for all. None of us must be sidetracked on personal material interests to an extent of losing track of the bigger picture, yes, amongst us. Because in the democratic process, the best must emerge so that the strong leadership can be exercised in all material times, but we must guard against being influenced in a negative way because of personal enrichment to the detrimental of the bigger picture. History and our children will judge us very badly. Let us be true and frank about where this union needs to go, so that its influence is felt beyond the South African borders. As a metro, Mangaung Metro, we are pleased that you chose our place to come and hold your conference here. Yes, there are a bit of challenges amongst ourselves, but it's not just that it plays itself, my apology. Yes, there is a bit of challenges amongst ourselves, but it is normal. It's just that it plays itself in the public space. We are still committed in making sure that corruption, nepotism, and misusing the state to advance self-enrichment is rooted out, and that we will achieve. We are not going to be yes boys or yes, girls, when we can see that the system of the city is not at a point that it responds to the challenges of the people of the city. The metro, we are committed to clean environment. We are committed to build safer communities through partnership with all stakeholders, especially you as Popcru. And our alliance partner through COSATU. We are more determined like never before to not only take orders like sheep and not engage to the extent of not seeing how an order will impact positively to the lives of our people. Like, hi, give this tender to so and so. Don't charge this one because he or she is a leader. That we are guarding against. Even in the event where policies are being violated, we will stand up. No, we are guided by mainly 3 policy documents in local government, which is your MFMA, your Systems Act, and the Structures Act. And that will make sure that they really prevail. We will at all times materials uphold and defend the Constitution of our country and all legislative directives which tries to make the local government effective and accountable. Let me again welcome you in our city. We used to call the City of Roses, but for now, let me apologize. The rose next time you come to visit will be alive. We will make sure it lives to its reputation of the City of Roses. For now, we are a city on the move. The conference must inspire and deliver a clear mandate to the incoming leadership with clear policy directives and build a nation of note in the political sphere of South Africa. We wish you a very good, constructive, and united conference which will be remembered for times to come. We must also remember, as we engage, that women are still facing triple oppression. I feel very emotional when I touch on issues of women. Women in our higher levels, they're being undermined, not taken into considerations, always being asked, does she have the qualities? Will she make it? It does not happen with men, but only with women, and that should come to an end. And as we are still facing triple oppression as women, and patriarchy is still at the center stage. And I will be failing as a woman if I stand here and try to sugarcoat it. My heart is very sore on how women are being treated. I cannot emphasize more that the killing of women and children is still continuing. I know that there are men who are standing up, but most are quiet. For them, it's normal. What have we done as women to you? And our lovely children. This conference is taking place in the most difficult time in the history of mankind since 1917. With the Spanish flu, which in our country is called COVID-19, has paralyzed the society with more than 2 million deaths that we are counting. We urge you all to take care of yourself by always closing your mouth when you enter any business premises and societal premises, like the President Cyril Ramaphosa has said this week. Wash your hands regularly. And on behalf of the Executive Mayor of Mangaung Metro Municipality, the one for the city on the move, enjoy your stay here in Bloemfontein, and remember, this is the birthplace of our glorious movement, the ANC. Amandla! Viva ANC, viva! Viva! Viva COSATU, viva! Viva! Viva Popcru, viva! Viva! With those words, I would like to say thank you. Enjoy your conference. Unfortunately, I have to leave. There's a committee of oversight with the Premier where I have to go and attend. My apology. Thank you, leaders.
Omona mushebile Omona mushebile
Amandla
awethu
Amandla. Deputy Mayor, as a token of appreciation for welcoming us in Mangaung, we like to say thank you. Mayor, we should feel free.
Mojo amona Mojo amona Mojo amona Mojo amona Omona mona mushebile Omana mujongile Omana mujongile Omana mushebile Mojo amana Mojo amana ma Mojo amana ma Mojo amona ma ha akwati hana dimutsi ha Mojo amona Mojo amona ma Mojo amkava ma Mojo amkava ma Ari amandla Ari viva Amandla.
No, thank you, Machabi, I can see the CD is loading now. And there is an open invite. I'm going to sponsor now. Out of 10 locals, no, let me leave Machabi because already they have set the bar high. I'm challenging other 9 locals. If you can outsmart Machabi with the singing today, you'll have me tonight. No, that is the offer on the table. So it's open. I'm starting. Kopano, let me start with you.
I'm a common. That's why I'm a common.
That's why I'm a common. That's why I'm a common.
I'm a commonist. I'm a common.
That's why I'm a common. That's why I'm a common. That's why I'm a communist, I'm a communist, I'm a communist. Oh, my mother, he was a kitchen girl. My father, he was a garden boy. That's why I'm a communist, I'm a communist, I'm a communist. Oh, my mother, he was a kitchen girl. My father, he was a garden boy. That's why I am a communist. I'm a communist. I'm a communist. That's why I am a communist. That's why I am a communist. That's why I am a communist. I'm a communist. I'm a communist. That's why I'm a communist, that's why I'm a communist, that's why I'm a communist, I'm a communist, I'm a communist, that's why I was a communist, that's why I'm a communist, that's why I'm a communist, I'm a communist, I'm a communist. Hey, my mother, who was a kitchen girl? Hey, my father, who was a garden boy? Hey, that's why I am a communist. I'm a communist. I'm a communist. Hey, my mother, who was a kitchen girl? Hey, my father, who was a garden boy? Hey, that's why I am a communist, I'm a communist, I'm a communist, that's why I am a communist, that's why I am a communist, that's why I am a communist, I'm a communist, I'm a communist, that's why I am a communist, that's why hey, I'm a communist, that's why I'm a communist, I'm a communist.
Amanda,
hey, too.
The competition now is becoming hot. I'm sure the coming local is not going to disappoint. Let me check. Sitsot.
Uwa indele ndela Uindelendela Uwa efona Uwa efona Uwa efona Uwa efona Uindelendela Uba indelendela indelendela Uba indelendela Yuna efona Yuna efona Yona efona Yona efona indelendela Uwa indelendela 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 Yona efona Yona efona Yona efona Yona efona indelendela 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 indelendela
Amandla, no, I have already decided where I'm going. No, let me give maybe the last one. I'll decide. Maybe they will convince me. Dihlabe.
Vuma umoya, oya vuma umo, oya vuma, oya wa, umoya wa, oya vuma uvume, uvume, oya wa, umoya, uvume, oya wa,
I can see Eastern Free State, Seleza collaboration. So you are disqualified because yours is a collaboration. Maybe one can decide now. I'm going to give the host because I'm in the middle now. I want to fall somewhere.
Zisebenza zelucele kanzima zele mali kulikuni kunzima kwenyukela zele mali kulikuni kunzima kwenyukela zele male kala sinyova zelu cele kanzima zele masohlala sinyova zelu cele kanzima zele male kunzima kwenyukela zeli mali kunzima kwenyukela sisebe zele sohlala sinyova zelu cele kanzima zele masohlala sinyova zelu cele kanzima zele malenga kuliku kunzima kwenyukela zele malenga kuliku kunzima kwenyukela zele sohlala sinyova zelupele kanzima zele malenga
Amandla, I'll give the verdict before we close. Let us continue with our program, and now we are going to give the provincial chairperson to give us a political overview for the Congress, which will also set the tone for our discussion and deliberations in this Congress. And I know that the provincial chairperson, unlike me, is the person that is gifted in singing. Now I'm gifted in judging. So let me just check with him first. Are you coming with your own song?
Awethu Matla Kiaruna Matimba Aina Matimba Aina Viva ANC Viva Viva ANC Viva Viva the South African Communist Party Viva Viva South African Communist Party Viva Viva COSATU Viva Viva COSATU Viva Viva Popcru Viva Viva Popcru Viva Viva Popcru Viva Viva Popcru Viva Viva Popcru, viva! Viva Popcru, viva! Viva Popcru, viva! Long live the spirit of Comrade Oliver Tambo, long live! Long live the spirit of Comrade Oliver Tambo, long live! Long live the spirit of Moses Kotani, long live! Long live the spirit of Moses Kotani, long live! Long live the spirit of JB Marx, long live! Long live the spirit of JB Marx, long live! Long live the spirit of Albert Nzula, long live! Long live the spirit of Albert Nzula, long live! Long live the spirit of Elijah Bakhai, long live! Long live the spirit of Elijah Bakhai, long live! Long live the spirit of Priti Shuping, long live! Long live the spirit of Priti Shuping, long live! Long live the spirit of Priti Shuping, long live! Long live the spirit of Priti Shuping, long live! Amanda! Away, two! Long live the spirit of Comrade Mukalapa, long live! Long live the spirit of Comrade Mukalapa, long live! Amanda! Away, two! Amanda! Away, two! Long live the spirit of Comrade Muiponi, long live! Long live the spirit of Comrade Muiponi, long live! Amanda! Away, two! Long live the spirit of Comrade Fukisi, long live! Long live the spirit of Comrade Fukisi, long live! Amanda! Away, two! Thank you very much, Deputy Chair, Program Director of the day, the Deputy Chair of the province, Comrade Sandile Piake, the National Office Bearers present here today, led by the General Secretary, Comrade Jeff, the second DGS, as well as the National Treasurer. Members of the National Executive Committee of Popcru present here today, the leadership of Alliance, the African National Congress, the South African Communist Party led by, I see the delegation of the South African Communist Party is led by the former Provincial Secretary, who is currently the Central Committee member, Comrade Pel Pakishi. The Provincial Office Bearers as well as members of the Provincial Executive Committee present, the representative from the Office of the MEC for Police, Roads and Transport, managers from all respective sectors where we operate, the Department of Correctional Service, Allied Universal, Comrade Nakedi Vets, a former full-time shop steward of Popcru in the Free State, the Provincial Commissioner of the South African Police Service, invited guests and Congress delegates. Let me request that we all rise to show respect to all those departed comrades who left us due to COVID-19 and all other related diseases. Can I request that we observe a moment of silence, please? Amanda, away too. May their souls rest in peace. Comrades, allow me on behalf of the Provincial Executive Committee as well as the POB Collective to bring revolutionary greetings to you all and take this opportunity to extend a warm word of welcome to this 9th Provincial Congress of Popcru. This August Congress is convened under the following theme, comrades: 32 years of working class consciousness, defending workers' rights and building a self-sustainable union. This theme is so relevant because it talks to the journey traveled by this giant organization called Popcru in defending the gains of the working class and working class consciousness in general, comrades. We are saying, comrades, Popcru has brought to light grievances of most of the workers who were vulnerable under the time when this giant organization was formed. We are further saying, comrades, that the Congress is convened in terms of Popcru's Constitution, Chapter 12, and its powers and duties are, amongst others, comrades, it's to implement and give effect to decisions of the National Congress, Central Executive Committee, and National Executive Committee decisions. It's to elect provincial office bearers and develop a 4-year political program of action. Is to consider reports and activities of all locals as well as activities of the provincial office bearers and provincial executive committee. It's to formulate directives for the province, provided that those policies are not inconsistent with the decisions of the National Congress, Central Executive Committee, National Executive Committee, and the provisions of the Constitution. Comrades, we are saying the Congress is convened a few days after the celebration of Human Rights Day, a day which we all remember, comrades, that on the 21st day of March 1960, the apartheid government unleashed its brutality on unarmed demonstrators which were demonstrating against past laws. Their brutality killed 69 people and injured a lot of many other people, those people who were our mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters and sibling comrades. We are saying, comrades, it is the duty and responsibility of this Congress as a workers' parliament to really consider the reports and come out with clear resolutions that will take the province as well as this entire organization forward, but by ensuring that we continue to service our members at all fronts. This Congress, comrades, comes after a very successful realization of the 2015 provincial congresses as well as national congresses, which was followed by the 2016 local government election, comrades. We are further saying, comrades, local government election was marred by a number of foreign tendencies, where we saw foreign tendencies in the movement, where candidates who were not recommended by the branch general meetings as well as communities emerged and found them in the list of local government. And having taken note of these, comrades, we are saying that particular tendency has seriously dealt a blow with and dealt with the outcome of the 2016 local government, as it was clearly demonstrated in the outcome, comrades. We are further saying, comrades, that the congresses, both national congresses, reaffirmed the support for the ANC for the upcoming local government election. However, comrades, congresses made a serious observations insofar as challenges that confronted the alliance as a whole and came out with clear resolutions which were aimed at correcting these foreign tendencies, amongst others, which is factionalism that is so deeply entrenched and rooted within the African National Congress, comrade. In our province, comrades, during the 2016 local government, we noticed those foreign tendencies as outlined just above, comrades. Furthermore, we observed an element of serious arrogance from the leaders of the movement, where candidates were recommended but not placed on the list, PR list of the movement, comrades. And this has resulted us in a serious unhappiness, particularly with regard to Metsi Maholo as well as Malutia Phofung, comrades. Comrades would recall that after those local government elections, 16 councillors of Malutia Phofung were suspended, and they were alleged to have voted with opposition parties against the mandate of the movement. The movement then decided, the PEC then recommended to the then National Executive Committee the expulsion of such comrades. Party and COSATU in the province felt that we needed to intensively sit around the table and engage around that particular matter and find everlasting solution. And unfortunately, comrades, due to the arrogance always displayed by the movement, such prayers fell on dead ears, comrades. We further observed serious arrogance where some leaders, if they fail to carry out their responsibilities at local government, they would then be elevated to provincial legislatures as well as the National Assembly, as if this movement is promoting incompetence. During 2017, comrades will recall that this was a very difficult year for the Congress movement. And we observed a lot of infighting within the movement, particularly here in the Free State Province, where some of the outcome of the branch general meetings were nullified through court processes. And as a result of that, comrades, the Provincial Congress of 2017 could not be realized timelessly. Whereas the court ruled that certain branch general meetings had to be reconvened and be properly constituted in order to find compliance in line with the constitution of the African National Congress, comrades. The NEC of the ANC resolved to suspend the Provincial Executive Committee and established a provincial task team, which its responsibility, comrades, was to unite and build a movement and branches in the province and prepare for a provincial congress. The NEC of the African National Congress further resolved, comrades, and agreed that the organization must act decisively with determination to rebuild the trust and bond between our people and the movement. It further agreed, comrade, to restore the dignity and reclaim the legitimacy of the movement within our people, comrades. It is very important, comrades, and sacrosanct to ensure that our relationship with the South African Communist Party remains intact. Hence, this is the only vanguard party of the working class that has forever been stood through thick and thin with all affiliates, including ourselves, by ensuring that political education is properly given to all of us. And we can safely say, comrades, that 2016 as well as 2017, we held successful political schools working together with the South African Communist Party, comrades. Comrades, we further say fraud and corruption have robbed our society of their basic needs. Monies which were intended to be directed at addressing the triple challenges confronting our society and the country ended up in the hands of few well-connected individuals. It is, comrades, against this background that we need to support all forms and efforts that are put in place to deal decisively with fraud and corruption, and call upon the President to ensure that all those who are implicated, specifically in the allegations of Zondo Commission, are all brought to book, and the recommendations, comrades, should be fully implemented. Comrades would note that the first part as well as the second part of that report is out with clear recommendation. Our call, comrades, should be that the recommendations and findings of that particular commission should find expression and implementation. Comrades, we must recall that the State Capture Commission, which was chaired by the former Deputy Chief Justice, who is now the Chief Justice, Raymond Zondo, was established in order to make an inquiry into allegations of state capture, corruption, and fraud in the public service, including organs of state in the Republic of South Africa. And the establishment of this particular commission, comrades, came as a result of recommendations and findings made by the former public protector, Thuli Madonsela, insofar as the observations and findings that her investigation concluded, where she recommended that a commission should be established and should be chaired by a judge appointed by the Chief Justice. The ANC has on numerous occasions made it clear that it respects and supports recommendations of the Commission, and it is therefore our considered view that we also have to rally behind that call and encourage all those implicated leaders be held accountable. Comrades and leadership, we must enhance social cohesion and re-emphasize the fact that corruption is a burden and brings about poverty, unemployment, and inequality in society. We must also note that corruption undermines the development and weakens democracy and state machinery designed to improve the lives of our people. Comrades, it is with great sense of concern that we see the resurgence of racist views and negative attitude in our society. This exposed the fragility of our 1994 compromises on the question, principally revealing the latter cannot be addressed without fundamentally addressing the economic emancipation of blacks in particular. The impact of unemployment, inequality, and poverty has deepened many social fault lines in our communities and society in general. This has evidently manifested itself through increased violence against women and children. Rampant community protest has reflected so much anger, which has worsened by poor leadership in our communities. These experiences underlines the necessity for the Alliance to remain focused on the national question, especially the relationship of class and gender struggles. Comrade delegates, perhaps this is an opportune time to reflect on the balance of forces that we find ourselves in and look how far have we moved towards attaining the national democratic society. We are still on the right track in our task in changing domestic balance of forces as envisaged in the Strategy and Tactics discussion document of the African National Congress. We need to ask thought-provoking questions regarding this matter. Has our economic policies delivered? Are our poor people improved economically and are climbing the economic ladder as the working class? Comrades, we need to vigorously deal with this matter when engaging on this political report. Comrades and delegates, the unity of COSATU in the province should forever be sacrosanct and should be important to all of us. We have noted with grave concern, comrades, that from 2015, COSATU provincial congresses have been preoccupied by leadership contestation, and serious issues of the organization end up being deferred to Provincial Executive Committee. And it should be the responsibility of all delegates to ensure that really COSATU is defended and the unity of it is defended at all material times. Be that as it may, comrade, with the same breath we must indicate that COSATU has been able to realize its activities insofar as dealing with workers' issues and activities and programs, comrades. The only critical aspect that we need to guard against is the issue of open leadership discussion amongst ourselves as COSATU affiliates and avoid wasting a lot of time on contestation in COSATU, comrades. Comrades, COVID-19 has been a reality, and the impact of that COVID-19 is still felt even today. It has had serious negative impact on workers in particular and the working class in general. Unemployment levels are at the highest level as a result of this particular pandemic. We are calling upon the Congress, comrades, to really deal intensively with the impacts that have came with this COVID-19 pandemic, comrades. Comrades, insofar as our sectors are concerned, we would start with the Department of Correctional Service. You would know, comrades, that we have had a long resolution insofar as the indecisiveness of the Regional Commissioner in Correctional Service. Proper structures like RBO are not sitting as a result of non-implementation of such decisions arrived at. And as a result of that, comrades, such structures have collapsed. Structures like area steering committees, which were aimed at dealing with all COVID-related matters, have also collapsed, as well as the Regional Steering Committee meeting, because of our realization that the attitude and posture of management of correctional service has been to realize meetings only for compliance and minutes taking. There is no will on the part of the Department of Correctional Service to implement decisions arrived at the relevant platforms as outlined, comrades. It's upon this particular Congress, comrades, to clearly outline and give a program of action that will then become the leadership program of action insofar as how are we intending and will we deal with this particular department moving forward, comrades. Insofar as police, roads and transport is concerned, comrades, this is indeed another area where we have made some strides and progress, but at the very same time, comrades, there has been a number of challenges insofar as the procuring of uniform for all our officials in that particular department, comrades. And we want to say, even after the even if uniform was procured, the quality of that particular uniform was not of such a standard that we would see an ideal traffic official on the road. And we believe, comrades, that the organizational report will deal in-depthly with these particular aspects. Insofar as the South African Police Service is concerned, comrades, you would note that we have had an instability insofar as having provincial commissioners that complete their term from 2015. We started with Sithole as the provincial commissioner. We moved a little bit towards the right direction, and then we went to head office, PSS, to lead head office. We were then confronted with a situation where we had to re-engage, and Tumani came in, and Tumani came and dealt with our long outstanding challenge insofar as the VAT was concerned. He dealt with the VAT, and that was an achievement in our side based on the long frustrations and harassment that our members have endured under the leadership of the VAT. After General Tumani, we had General Simpe, who was in posture really not appealing, or he did not see the importance of trade unions within the Free State province or the organization as a whole. And after a number of occasions, we believe that relations really improved between ourselves as the leadership and that respective provincial commissioner. And then after that, we are sitting with, again, another Memutli, a very indecisive provincial commissioner in the form of Memutswenyane, having an open door policy but a closed ear. The doors are open, you are more than welcome to come and engage, but I'm closing my ears because you are not implementing decisions of this particular bilateral. So, comrades, insofar as Allied Universal is concerned, comrades, would note that we have at some point lost our majority status in G4S, which is now called Allied Universal, comrades. But through hard work made by the Provincial Executive Collective, we reclaimed our majority status in that particular Allied Universal sector. And we believe that we are moving towards the right direction insofar as issues concerning our members are concerned, comrades. Lastly, comrades and leadership, we need to forge unity at all costs, for the enemy infiltrate us more easily if we are not united. And it brings about confusion that breeds instability, which will lead to our graves, and this shall make us to have failed those who came before us, and sacrifices they have lived us for, if we are not going to unite ourselves behind this organization, comrades. With those few words, comrades, allow me to now say this Congress is officially declared opened. Umkholo lumsebenzi, umsebenzi wenkololeko. Umkholo lumsebenzi, umsebenzi wenkololeko. Ole vatambo ofuna amajuni, amajuni enkololeko. Ole vatambo ofuna amajuni, amajuni enkololeko. Umkholo lumsebenzi, umsebenzi wenkololeko. Umkholo lumsebenzi, umsebenzi wenkololeko. Ole vatambo ofuna amajuni, amajuni enkololeko. Ole vatambo ofuna amajuni, amajuni enkololeko. Umkholo lumsebenzi, umsebenzi wenkololeko. Umkholo lomsebenzi wenkululeko Oliver Tambo ofuna amajoni enkululeko Oliver Tambo ofuna amajoni enkululeko Umkholo lomsebenzi wenkululeko amandla awethu amalungelo wethu amalungelo
Sibela amalungelo wethu amalungelo wethu amalungelo wethu amandla That was the political overview statement by the provincial chairperson. I believe as delegates we have noted what the provincial chairperson has indicated so that when we go into our respective commissions we are going to engage more specifically on the issues that he has highlighted. Before I'm going to give the provincial treasurer, just to introduce some, I've got just one announcement, which I've made it earlier on, and now we are still struggling with the issue of the housekeeping. Can all these recipient of these room numbers, please hand over them to the provincial manager for housekeeping purposes, please. CV19, CV19, CV24, CV24, CV1, CV1, A1, A1, HM2, HM2. Can you please hand over those keys, please, to the provincial manager, please, for housekeeping purpose. Thank you. Treasurer, you can ascend to the podium.
Amandla. Comrades, amongst ourselves, we have the following guests. We have the former provincial treasurer, who is currently the provincial treasurer, who is currently the provincial secretary of KZN, Comrade Ntabele Molefe. We have the Comrade Tulani Ngwenya, who is the negotiator / the current provincial chairperson of Mpumalanga. Comrade, please, the Congress. We also have amongst ourselves the young comrade, Junior Ntsele. Comrades, we have the former provincial secretary of SACP, who is currently the central committee member of SACP, Comrade Pakisi. These comrades, let me give you just a little bit. In 2005, that was my first provincial shop-steward council of COSATU. When I entered the council, he was on stage. Everything he said, I could not understand because that was my first. He was saying something about bourgeoisie, and Msindo was sitting next to me. I kept asking, comrade, and Comrade Msindo said, Mamel. But today I know. Thank you, Comrade Pakis. We have our former provincial chairperson, Deputy Chairperson, Comrade Dawi. We have our former shop steward, former full-time shop steward of, it was called G4S, now it's called Allied Universal, Dr. Nakedi Vets. We also have our provincial secretary of COSATU, Comrade Mahlatsi. Thank you, Chairperson.
Amandla, let me call upon the provincial chairperson to introduce the national office bearers in our midst.
Amandla, away to Matla, Kiarona. No, thank you very much, comrades. Comrades, in our midst, we are blessed by the presence of 3 national office bearers. We start with the General Secretary, Comrade Jeff Khatebi.
Mandla, Viva Popcru, Viva, Kandaya, Popcru, Kandaya.
We have the second DGS, Comrade Mudisa Majwe Mukoko, Musadia Majwe, yeah, Musadia Majwe, pardon me, Musadia Majwe Mukoko. We are also blessed by the presence of our own Ramatlotlo, the National Treasurer, Comrade Tulani Ntsele. No, thank you very much.
Amandla, comrades, it's now almost 5 to 11. Can we just give you a body stretch break of 10 minutes, please? Can you come back at 5 past 11? I said, you are paying the time that we have lost during the morning when we have agreed. Can we please come at 10 past 11, please?
follow. Don't ask so many questions.
Matla. Today now I'm good at over a good timekeeper. Can I just get the indication? Machabeng, I see your empty seats. Dishabeng, I see empty seats. Can we get seated, please? No, thanks. Let us continue with our program. We will be calling upon on stage okay. We will be calling on stage the former shop steward, full-time shop steward. I'm told that now it's a doctor. Ising Dr. Yaditaula, academically so, Dr. Nagedi, who was the former full-time shop steward of Popcru from G4S. And like I've said earlier on, Popcru is producing, and it is still gonna produce good leadership. Our school of thought, it's very progressive, because now, after being graduated, becoming a doctor, or even before, the management felt that no, we need to use his expertise in that G4S. And after a long deliberation, as leadership, we said no, let us release him to go back to the employer. And we can safely say that in that sector, there is a stability because of his contribution in that particular institution. So I know when he was still a full-time shop steward, combination of le comrade Scorpio, it was superb. And let us allow Dr. Nagedi to give a message of support from G4S. Dr. Nagedi, could you please ascend to the podium? Mangaung akele mo bitsenga le hlasumo.
Viva Popcru, viva! Ai hule Popcru, ai hule! Long live the spirit of British Ping. Long live! Long live the spirit, the undying spirit of Pakiso Mukalapa. Long live! Long live the undying spirit of Comrade Fukisi. Long live! Mandla! Away to thank you very much, Comrade Chairperson of the day. Members of the National Office, NOBs, the Provincial Executive Committee, members of the Alliance, COSATU Party, ANC, of course not Dudula movement, ANC, and our colleagues in different sectors. Comrades, I'm going to be very brief, but I'm sure you will be surprised why I'm holding this flag that is written guest. Comrades, I'm a guest. I'm a guest, and I'm here to give the message of support. And comrades, I have the right to hold this thing. It is my right as a guest. Just a brief story about this flag, comrades. Many years back, in one of the CECs that we attended somewhere, Comrade Mabida was, I think, was the chairperson of that session. And we were to adopt the minutes of the previous CC. Now, I think KZN or Mpumalanga rose and adopted the minutes. And then Comrade Mabida said, we need a second. Now the gathering was very quiet. And Comrade Parks was sitting somewhere holding the very same thing. That is written Free State. Then I raised up my hand, and Comrade Mabida recognized my hand and said, okay, comrade. Then I said, no, I second, the Free State second. Comrade, I was tongue-lashed. Immediately, Comrade Secretary stood up and said, no, Comrade President, no. This comrade was not here in the previous CC, so he cannot adopt the minutes of that CC. I was tongue-lashed, comrades. But now I'm having a privilege to hold this thing and talk without any fear. Amanda. Comrades, I've been sent by G4S Allied. Okay, my name is Comrade Tebohona Kedi. But last year around September, I accomplished my PhD because I've been studying all the years that I've been with Popcru. I'm now having a PhD qualification in politics, governance, and international relations. So, comrades, let us take this opportunity to learn as leaders. Let us take the opportunity to study as leaders, because you cannot lead if you are not capacitated and if you don't have a particular knowledge to lead the members at the shop floor. And I was encouraged, comrades, to continue with my studies some years back while I was doing this, what is this thing? What is this? While I was doing the paralegal course, I was attending that paralegal course for the whole year with Comrade Scott. I see Comrade Scott is here. And we were spending the whole week at Elijah Bahai in every month. So simultaneously I was doing that while I'm still studying. So I'm encouraged, comrade, though I had some accidents with that thing of Elijah Bahai, is one discussion that PS likes so much, and Comrade Scorpion, if he's here, that the bus has actually left with me and dropped me somewhere. But it's a story of another day. Comrades, The renewed Popcru, with a politically conscious leaders who are able to interpret and critique politics using the correct ideology aligned with organizational values. It's a leader that we need, comrades. It's a leader that organization need. You are meeting here for 3 days, comrades, having in mind that it is not possible to wage a successful revolution without a clear political consciousness, conceptualized on the following objective: providing a platform for intensive political ideological engagement, instilling responsible political traits with reputable characters amongst members, sharpening the political understanding and encourage ethos of socialism, and be responsive leadership by continuously playing a progressive role within the alliance. I hope this Congress will reaffirm your commitment to politically empower and educate leaders and members, particularly in this epoch of heightened ideological contestation, and further reaffirm that the ideological struggle are an integral component of the working class struggle against capitalism, and to transform the immediate condition of the workers and the poor. And amongst other things, comrade, you must use this platform, or this platform that is convened precisely as a political empowerment platform in building Popcru's ideological capacity and confidence to yield, amongst other following outcomes, to improve ideological knowledge, comrades, and understand national and international politics, to improve participation in all activities of organization and alliance. Comrades, in the nutshell, the message of support from G4S, which has been sold to Allied, is that as a leader sitting here, you cannot work in silos. You need to work within the collective. And the decision that you are taking, it should be a decision that is taken by a collective. I'm having a struggle to conceptualize this thing, Comrade Chairperson, that I'm coming from the organization where I don't blow my own trumpet, where I was taught very clear that in Popcru, you can't forever be a complainant. And you can't always say, I, because you are working within the collective. So I was told that it is we, because it's the team that is working. And that is a challenge that I'm having in the workplace, comrades. And you would understand that because of our historical past, comrades, it is very difficult for some quarters to accept that it is a collective that is working, unlike a certain individual that is pushing a certain narrative. Comrades, one of the main objectives that my principals told me to deliver to you, looking at the leadership collective of Popcru in the institution where I'm working, is that I need to pass a very clear message to this Congress about a leadership, a character of a leadership, and in all material costs to avoid being a selfish or a selfless, being a selfish leader, but to be a selfless leader. Comrade, a selfless leader is a person who goes beyond his concerns and emphasizes with others. They are humble, they have a broader view and truly listen to others. They put themselves in the position of others and they say we instead of I. They celebrate success together and they face failures together. That is a kind of a leader, comrade, that I want to believe that this Congress is envisaged to get at the end of the deliberations. Comrades, as Popcru members, the essence of trade unionism is a social upliftment. whether we like it or not. And I'm glad that Comrade Chairperson's opening remarks has also reflected on that. Labor movement has been a haven of the dispossessed and the despised, the negligent, and the downtrodden of the poor. Makabani, you cannot achieve that if amongst ourselves we have a cult members. We can't. We can't achieve this objective as Popcru if there are members who are working and if there are leaders who are not part of a collective decision. Comrade, and to be careful about the cult leadership, I want to demonstrate few characteristics, comrades, of a cult leadership, so that when you go back to respective plans or place of work, you should be able to identify a leader or an employer or an employee that has these traits of a cult leader. And at all material times, comrade, you need to educate that